Hello, and welcome to the Mommy Escape Time podcast. I am Lauren, your host, and I have a 1-year-old son. I started this podcast for any mother who might feel alone in their journey through motherhood. Becoming a mom is hard no matter how you get there, and this podcast is about the mom stuff that comes up in our lives. Listen, enjoy, and connect with us on the Mommy Escape Time podcast. Hello, and welcome to the Mommy Escape Time podcast. This is our 50th episode, so it's very exciting. This is going to be a solo episode, just me. Next week, my husband will be on to talk about what we do with our son in the winter, and it's a little different than, I know I did an episode last year. It's a little different than what we did last year. Just every year he gets a little bigger, so things change a little bit. But this year, well, yes, it is. Happy New Year. It's 2020, the new decade. So today I'm going to give you a little life update. We're going to talk about resolutions and why they do not work out or they do work out. And of course, I am going to talk to you about the 40-day sugar fast that if you follow me on social media, I push on people so much. Not because I just think it's such a fantastic thing that if you are in any way a sugar addict like I am, it is the most, I didn't realize how much of a difference it would make on my life. And I will kind of talk about things that I learned from last year and how I've made life changes from that and how I continue that through my daily life. So let's first give a little life update. I did not mean to take off 3 weeks from the podcast. I finished recording episodes, I don't even know, the beginning of November, and I just kept thinking like, oh, I'll get another episode in. And between Thanksgiving and Christmas, it was just, I really tried to be focused on my family, and I really get off social media. I tried to do 15 minutes a day of social media, which I would say I probably made it to a half an hour every day. I would not say that I did 15 minutes. I did do 15 minutes a day every day between when I stopped school, December 20th, through the 26th, the 27th. It was a week. So it must have been the 27th. I only did 15 minutes a day, no matter what. And when when it said like your time limit is up, I was done with my phone for the day. The last 2 days, I haven't been so great with it. So the goal is to get back to 30 minutes. I think 30 minutes is more reasonable for me, just because I actually have to post stuff up on social media. So it takes me a few minutes to actually do that. So I tried to do it like twice and it didn't work out because I only had 15 minutes and I kept messing up and then it wasn't uploading fast enough. So nothing actually went up. So I actually posted a lot on Instagram, but no one actually saw it because it never uploaded because my time limit would run up. And then the next day I would see it. I was like, well, no one cares 2 days later, like what happened 2 days ago in my life. So I would just delete them. But what I did try and do starting at Thanksgiving was I started the workout program Insanity. And if you don't know what that is, it's kind of like an older program. It's like one of the first Beachbody programs that was out there, that it was like a set of different workouts that you would do for a month and then you would move on to the next set of workouts for a month. So it's like a 60-day workout, but you technically are supposed to do it twice through to say that you have completed the program. And the first time I did Insanity was I honestly, it's so weird that I remember this. This is in 2013. I had ran a marathon in 2012 and I was like, I'm never doing that again. And I knew I couldn't, I was just like done running at that point. I was like, I needed a long extended break. So I had bought Insanity like off eBay. At that time, it was like all through DVDs. And I did the program and I was religious about this program. Every day I would do whatever the program told me and I did it. And the first month it wasn't so bad. It was hard because there's a lot of arm stuff, a lot of push-ups and there are no way to describe some of these exercises. They're challenging and it's hard to do on your own. And It is not for people who are not in shape. I know that they have advertised that as I'm going through it. It is not for people who have not ever worked out. You need to work out. You need to be in some sort of shape before you start this. I think it's very hard to do. Um, and I remember that first time that I did it, like through, like I lost a bunch of weight. I was really toned. I was eating really well, and it was great. And that's kind of what I would like to get back into. So on Thanksgiving morning, I started the Insanity program, and I just kind of like did random videos because I have there's a Beachbody app where Insanity is on it, and all their apps, all their workout programs are on. So I own all of that, um, and I use it as often as I can. So now, my goal was to follow the program step by step, but that did not work out so well. I would say at least 3 to 4 days a week, I would do the workouts. And I only did, there's like cardio workouts, and then there's like ab workouts and like core strengthening workouts. I only did cardio workouts. I have no interest in doing the other ones. And I might now. I'm in the second month now. The first month, like I really know, I know the program really well. I know the workout. It's very obvious what's come. I don't want to say obvious, but once you've done it like 2 or 3 times, you're like, oh, okay, I totally got it. The second month, which I just started now. So the first month, I would say the programs are all about 40 minutes long. And the second month, they're all about an hour. And so I'm only in the first week of the second month, so of the hour long workouts. And I am not doing them all out because I am very nervous about how tired I am getting and how hard the workouts are. And I should say that in December, I woke up at 4:45 every morning to do my workout so that I was done at 5:30 so I could shower and get ready and go to work because I have to leave by 6:30 and obviously get my son ready and all that other stuff. So, when I in January, I started to get up at 4:30 because I needed that 15 extra minutes so I could get my hour in. But in December, I woke up at 4:45 every day. And then over my break, I woke up at 5 a.m. because I didn't have to, there was no place I ever had to go. Um, and was not perfect. Every week in December, we had a snow day in my school. And so those days it was really hard to get up and work out. One of the days I did, two of the days I did not. I was just like, whatever, I'm going to do it tomorrow. And then over the break, how I decided to start doing it is basically you're supposed to be doing a workout every day in Insanity. And I can't do that. So my goal is to do 2 days on, 1 day off, 2 days on, 1 day off. And that's pretty much what I'm going to do going forward, especially when it's this hour program long. Um, and I kind of, my body is now just accustomed of getting up that early. So even if I wanted to stay in bed, like my body is like, whatever, it's time to get up. So I'm up anyway. So I already lay out all my stuff the night before. And I really try and get into that routine and keep it over the break because I I don't want to be one of those people that in January 1st is like, okay, I'm going to work out every single day and I'm going to lose all this weight. And I think last year is when I really learned that, or I would say 2 years ago, after I had my son, like I thought like in 3 months, I'll totally lose all the weight, which was like 45 pounds to begin with. Guess what? I didn't. And I still haven't lost it. And he's a year and a half old now. I'm close. I'm very close, actually. But I'm definitely not there yet. So, Insanity was one of the things that really helped me to lose weight in the past. So, that's definitely what I'm going to do. And I probably will do it. I'd like to say that I'm going to do it for the 4 months. So, I already did a month in December. So, now January, I'll do another month. And then maybe February and March, I'll do it again. I might move on to a new program starting at the end of February, so beginning of March. But we'll see. I haven't really quite committed. What I have committed to is I would like to try to start getting up at 4:45 between now and or 4:30 between now and The end of February. After the end of February, I don't know. I might adjust it to 4:45. But yes, between the first 2 months of the year, I would like to try and get up at 4:30, do my workout, and really have that focus in the morning. I think that that's really been helpful, and I think it really sets up my day nicely. Um, and I don't want to say that I'm going to get up at 4:30 every day for the rest of the year because that's just not manageable. And I think if I do 2 days on, 1 day off, then I know like, okay, well, today and tomorrow I have to do it, but then the next day, like if I need to sleep till 5, it's okay, or 5:30, it's okay. Um, Not setting unreasonable expectations is where I'm trying to go with that. And so that brings us right into New Year's resolutions and why resolutions for me are always so hard. As a teacher, our school, the school year is like my new year. So in August, that's my new year. That's when I'm like, okay, this year I'm going to do this, this, and this, and meaning that school year. So January isn't really like that time of year where I'm coming up with those resolutions. And I'm sure in 2020, because it's a new decade, everyone's like, oh my gosh, I'm going to do this, this, and this. And this is the decade that I'm going to do this. So weight loss is like one of the big things, obviously, that people always do. And I remember when I used to go to the gym, I like dreaded January because all these people would come out to the gym for like a month, maybe, not even, sometimes 3 weeks, and then it would be dead again. Like February was the best time to go to the gym because like no one kept their New Year's resolution up. And as a special ed teacher, it's very easy to see my job is to see where students have weaknesses and then write a goal based on that weakness, meaning like if they struggle in math, their goal I'm making this very basic so everyone can understand this, but if they struggle in math, their goal is to pass math. That's their goal. And to get to passing math, I have to write objectives. So what are the steps that the student is going to take in order to pass math? So one objective might be is that they keep accurate notes from the classroom because they could be sitting in class just sitting there doodling and not taking any notes, so they have nothing to reference. Another objective might be that students will get extra help before a quiz, or that they will complete their study guide and have it checked over by the teacher before the quiz, or that the student will do 3 problems one-on-one with a teacher to ensure their understanding of the study guide and then move on. So those are like a bunch of options. I wouldn't write all of those, but it's kind of important to have the goal. If your goal is to lose weight, then your goal should not be, I'm going to go to the gym every single day and I'm not going to eat anything bad ever this whole year, because that makes it unattainable. And the goal is to make it attainable. So you have to come up with a goal that is obtainable. So if your goal is to lose weight, it might be, okay, my goal is to lose weight. It might not be a specific amount. It might be maybe you would lose 1 pound a month or half a pound a month. Something doable. And for women, know that if you don't have to weigh yourself in order to know if you're losing weight. Your clothes either fit better or they don't. That's end of story. In certain parts of the month, it's going to fluctuate no matter what you do. So there's nothing you can do. Like I automatically gain weight certain times of the month. So there's nothing I can do about that. And I don't really weigh myself. I kind of go by, hey, this fits again or this doesn't fit again. And I actually weighed myself a few times in December, and I was like kind of shocked because I was losing weight by only working out 3 days a week. So I always say if your resolution is to work out, or lose weight, and you want to go to the gym, then fine. Say, I'm going to go to the gym 2 times a week. Especially like if you've never gone, you can't expect that you're going to go every single day. That's not attainable and it doesn't make sense. And it's also, if you've never gone or you don't go normally, going for an hour isn't going to make a difference every day. You're going to be wiped out and tired, and then you're not going to want to do it anymore. So you have to come up with like those little attainable goals. Like, I'm going to go to the gym. Maybe you start off with twice a week. Maybe one time it's a class and one time you just walk on the treadmill. And yes, it's super annoying because there are those people at the gym that just tick you off. And there's so many different types of people who could tick you off at the gym, which is why I don't go anymore. I just can't do it. It's just too much of a competition around where I used to live. I'm sure it's not like that where I live now, but where I used to live, it had nothing to do with working out. It was just, what you wore, how you looked, who you saw, were you there at the right times? So don't get sucked into that either, go for the right reasons. Um, a lot of other things that people try and do is they try to oh, I'm not going to eat. I'm going to eat perfectly. I'm done with, eating bad food, which again is commendable and a good start. I always try and say you want to eat healthier, um, and maybe you want to cut things out for a little while. So I'll kind of talk about last year around this time, actually. I remember I was home and I was following someone on social media who posted about this 40-day sugar fast. And I was like, in the past, I had this friend Jill. She and I go through these like fitness journeys together sometimes, but she she is like amazing. She can just like she's like today I'm just not having sugar. And I'm like, "What? I could never do that." And I always thought like I could never cut out sugar. Like how could you not have a dessert? Like I'll work out for 2 hours just so I can have a dessert. Um which is not a good way of looking at life, by the way. I don't, you should not do that. Um, anyways, this woman that I follow on social media, she posted about this 40-day sugar fast, and I was like, whatever. I'm so not whatever. So I like looked into it, and I'm like, all right, well, last year I thought I was going to be able to start running with my leg, and I wasn't able to run. So I broke my leg in August, and not last year. Yeah, I guess it was. It was 2018. So 2018, I broke my leg in August. And so I thought at the end of 2018 that I'd be able to start like really hardcore working out. First of all, I thought I'd be able to run at in November. And I broke my leg in August. Guess what? That was not a thing. I was still in my boot at that point. I think at Thanksgiving, it was like the first week that I was not walking in a boot, and it was so hard for me. But then in January, I was going back to the doctor, and he said that I had to have another surgery, so I was not going to be able to work out. So I knew I had to do something because I didn't like the way I looked. I wanted to lose weight. And if I couldn't work out, and I really couldn't walk as much as I wanted to, one, it was the dead of winter and I couldn't walk my son outside. And I mean, I could walk in the malls, but it's not the same. Um, so I was not in my best place, I would say, at the end of 2018. And at the beginning of 2019, I was like, all right, I'll try this 40-day sugar fast. And what ended up happening is like the day before the sugar fast was supposed to happen, the woman Wendy Speak went on a Facebook Live. Um, and my husband, I don't know, he had some like late night meeting, so I actually like got to watch this Facebook Live while my son was asleep for like 30 minutes, and it was like, oh my gosh, this is for me, and this is what I'm supposed to be doing right now. And it was really eye opening to just kind of see like you can do this. And I was just so excited about it. And I didn't document it, I don't think, all that well last year, mostly because I had a lot of ups and downs during this 40-day sugar fast last year. But I will say, I kept a diary every single day, and I reread it before I did this episode, and I've actually been rereading it a lot. lately to try and make sure that I do better this year. And I'm also in a different headspace than I was last year. Last year, I would say from when I broke my leg until probably when my son was one, so that was like the end of April, I just struggled. It was just a struggle. Every day it was a struggle. I was so tired all the time. I had to do workouts every day, and not workouts that I wanted to do. It was like literally physical therapy every single day before, and I had to get up before my son so I could get my leg moving or my knee moving or my ankle moving. And I was just so done with it. I just wanted to wake up like a normal person and not have to do workouts and not have to, rotate my ankle 30 times to the left, 30 times to the right. Okay, now do these walking exercises and then, move your knee this way and that way. And uh, it was very frustrating for me. I needed a break and I did not have that. And one of the biggest things that I didn't even realize is that my mom lived with us from August through September, and then my husband's mother in law came October, November, and then my mom came back in December. So we had help all those months. There was always someone to help. Like if I needed to cook dinner, someone could watch Luke, if, this and that. And not that my husband can't watch my son, it's just that my husband works. So he's not here all the time. So it doesn't work like that. And we don't really have any family around here. So it was very hard sometimes in the beginning, especially in January for me, to get used to, well, when I pick up my son from daycare, he's just mine and he doesn't take any naps. And I have to still do everything that I normally have to do. Oh, and I have to do these workouts. Oh, and I can't have any sugar. So it was a good test for me to not have sugar for those 40 days. It was a very good test. And just this is what I learned. First of all, I learned that I was sick. I was sick from probably October of 2018 until the end of March of 2019. And it was all from surgery and like all the yucky stuff that just was breaking off. And it was just, I wrote about how sick I was every single day. And I actually got super sick a week before I was supposed to have my knee surgery. And I refused to tell my surgeon because I did not, it would mean that I would have had to put my knee surgery off for 2 months. So I would not have it done till the end of April. And I just knew I couldn't live another like 2 months without not being able to walk or carry my son. So I never told my surgeon, and I was really sick. I was only on like my third day of antibiotics at that point, and I cannot believe that like they didn't figure out that I was sick. And I do not recommend doing that. I was just so at the end of my rope. Um, and I would say I followed the sugar fast a little bit too far to the T. My biggest thing is that I found out that sugar was like literally in everything. And when I mean literally in everything, it's in salt. Okay? So you have to check your salt to make sure that there is no sugar in your salt. Because I don't know, I had like a store brand like salt, like a big container of it, and like never even thought about it and use that, obviously in cooking and stuff like that. And when I was getting ready for the sugar fast, you're supposed to look at all the ingredients and stuff like that. And I was like, what? I'm like, how is there sugar in my salt? So then I had to find, there are a lot of salts that do not have sugar in them, but they are not normally store brand. So if you buy generic of anything, you need to be careful that there's not sugar in it. So that was a little eye opening to me. I will read you like the sugar fast, how to begin, and the guidelines. It's just to make a commitment to join in saying no refined sugars for 40 days. That means no sugary snacks, baked goods, ice cream treats, sweet coffee creamers, soda, candies, and so on. Nothing that includes refined sugars or high fructose corn syrup. So from there, it's up to you. So that's from Wendy Speaks' book. the 40-day sugar fast. And here's the deal. The 40-day sugar fast is supposed to be, instead of running to sugar, you are running to God. So, trying to break those barriers of you running to sweets and instead going to Christ. And I understand that it's not for everyone. It wasn't for me at first. And it's something that I learned through this sugar fast. And it's the first thing that has helped me make consistent lifestyle changes. So, something that I started to do is I stopped buying every morning. I don't even know how many years it's been, 7, 8 years. I have one egg, some sort of fruit, and some sort of like bread or grain. At the time, I had been for a long time having these like Lender's bagels, half a bagel every morning because my husband was like obsessed with them. So I just didn't want to buy anything else. And I didn't even like them, and I was eating them. Um, and so finally, when the sugar fast came out, I was like, all right, well, I'm just going to make my own bread every week. And that's what I ended up doing. And it's this like no knead bread that you leave overnight, and then the next day you cook in like a Le Creuset pot in the oven for like an hour, and you're done. And it's like 4 ingredients. It's flour, yeast, sugar. No, not sugar. That would be so ironic, wouldn't it? It's flour, water, salt, and yeast. Those are the 4 ingredients. There is no sugar, no honey, no nothing. Um, and that's what you do. And you can look up no knead bread online. There's like 1,000 recipes for that. So I started having that bread in the morning. The problem that I had is that instead of replacing my sugary snacks, I just didn't have any food. So at work, though, I did start bringing Lara bars, obviously ones without sugar or chocolate in them. Added sugar, I should say. They all have sugar in them because they are dates and some sort of fruit. But I think that that started making a big change for me. And I couldn't even tell you what I used to eat at school for a snack, but I would definitely eat anything anyone ever brought to work. And now I like hardly ever eat anything anyone brings to work. I'm always like, no, I'm good. I'll just eat what I brought. Which is a big change. Like, and it's not just during the fast that this has happened. That is almost a year from now, and I hardly ever eat anything people bring to work. So I think that makes a difference. Um, and I just did not eat enough food during the fast last year. Instead of like replacing it with foods like having a salad or something like a fruit or a vegetable, I just chose not to eat. So a lot of times I would write like, I'm hungry, I'm hungry, I'm hungry, I'm hungry. And I think also I limited my grains too much. Um, and that probably did not help that much. Um, so this time around, I know I can't do that. So this time around, my goal is to cut out all those just sugary stuff. No high fructose syrup, so no soda, no juice, no sweets of any kind. And my goal is to decrease the processed foods. So like one of my biggest things is salad dressings. There's sugar in all of your salad dressings if you buy it. And you're going to tell me, oh, no, there's not. There is. There's like, I don't know what they said, like 60 different names for sugar. There's sugar in it. I can guarantee you that. Even if you try and make your own, the seasoning packets, they all have sugar. And that was one of like the shocking things that I actually found out this week. I was so upset. I wanted to get like a glass jar to make salad dressing. And I was like, oh, I'll just use this one. And it comes with 2 seasoning packets. Great. And I looked on the back of the seasoning packets, and the first ingredient is sugar, which means it has the most ingredient in it is sugar. So the spices in the packet are less than sugar. So that was just like, okay, I can't even do that. So there's a lot of like easy Italian dressing recipes online, and even ranch if like you don't like cream, if you like creamier things. So that's my goal, is to get to make one ranch and one Italian, and just use those for salad dressings. Now I'm trying to think if there's anything. There's not. I mean, I'm sorry. There's not any foods that I mean, I'm going to do my best. I will say during last year's sugar fast, there was a few times that I had to have juice when I was really sick. That was out of necessity. Okay. So I don't feel like I broke it then. And I will say I kept a journal for 15 days afterwards. And I did not do as well as I had hoped afterwards, which is ironic because then I would say I did much better when starting in April. And I actually did the best I've ever done um, in November and December. I lost weight in December, which I don't think in my entire life I've ever lost weight in December, um, or even really November. But this is the first year that I've lost weight in December. So I don't have sugar as much, and I really just, the easiest way to not have sugar is to not have it in your house. But you also have to have a plan. And that's the biggest thing. You have to have a plan. Like, I already have a plan that I have these hummus and I have these sweet potato chips that are like four ingredients. It's like sweet potato, flaxseed, and something else. And I know it sounds gross, but it's actually really, really good. And I found hummus at Costco in containers so that I could bring that to work, or if I needed a snack when I came home with that stuff in it. And I have a fruit and vegetable planned out for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Well, I don't have a huge dinner or breakfast for, oh, I do. And my eggs, I'm going to start adding mushrooms so that I can get some vegetable in my morning also. So I think the biggest thing is just planning. But the biggest thing that I can say is try it. If you try the 40-day sugar fast, it's a community of people. There's a book that you can follow, and that's kind of what the newest thing this year is. The book was just released in November, and look, I do know Wendy. She and I talk, but we're not like best friends, and I'm not getting any money for this. I'm literally getting the word out because it helped to change my eating aspects where nothing else ever has before. So I'm not going to get into the spiritual part of it. That's between me and God. That's not between you and me. But the health aspects are important, and to be accountable is important. So you can follow me, and I will do a wrap up and sometime in February. But it's from January 6th to February 15th. And yes, you can go to Valentine's Day and not have sugar. I promise you, you will survive. Um, and I think the biggest thing is that if you plan ahead, you can really make a difference. And this book, it's 5 pages a day that you read, and there's 40 days to read about. Um, but every day there's something that you can read about to help you get through the day. Now, because I already get up at 4:30 to work out every day, I read the chapter the night before. And my goal is that what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the chapter, write a little note in my journal about what I'm going to do. And then I had got, if you had signed up previously, and she might do it again, she had these like daily devotionals to follow. I'm going to have my journal and my devotional next to my clothes to get dressed every morning. And then I'm going to do my workout in the morning. I'm going to come up, I'm going to read my journal, maybe recap or read any highlighted parts that I have in my book, read my devotional, and then go along with my day. And then at the end of the day, I'm going to journal what it was like for me. And then I'm going to read the next chapter and the next devotional and put that next to my clothes for the next day. So that's my goal for the 40 days. So I really hope that you will join the 40-day sugar fast. I will put the information in the bio of this episode so you can have it. And I guess some people call it the show notes. So, yes, join the 40-day sugar fast. It's 40 days. You can do it. Plan ahead, and just the hardest part is on those bad days when all you want to do is run to sugar. But that's what you're trying to teach your body, is to do something else. So, hopefully you will get something out of this. I hope you all have a very nice 2020, and thank you for being here for our 50th episode. And I did decide over the break that every to end every episode, I wanted to share something about what I'm enjoying about being a mother and with my son. Um, so over the holidays, my son started to really know who Santa was. And he would point out Santa, and we would go to Target. If you went to Target during the holidays and they had this Santa that was climbing up a ladder, my son loved that. He would go to that every time we went to Target. And it was very disappointing when that all came down. He was very sad. Like, why do we go to Target anymore? There's no Santa to see. But the biggest thing that I loved about that season was that I would say, "What does Santa say?" And he would say, "Ho ho ho." So it was very cute having my son. He's starting to verbalize, he's starting to really understand things, and it was so magical to see the Christmas season through his eyes this year, and just how great it was. So that's what I enjoy the most. So if you want to follow about my sugar fast, you can follow me. I would follow me on Instagram, Mommy Escape Time, and you can see how it goes, and you can let me know if you're going to join and how it's going for you. So everyone have a great first week of 2020, and I'll be talking to you all year. Bye.